Dr. Fauci was asked about the return of sports. He let us know that he's a Washington Nationals fan and wants to see the Nationals play and defend their World Series title. He gave an update on how sports can return, and there you see it right there. He said there's a way of doing it. Nobody comes to the stadiums. Put athletes in big hotels wherever you want to play. Keep them well surveilled and have them tested like every week. Make sure that they don't wind up infecting each other and their families. Just let them play the season out. I don't know. It's like a 6-month road trip if you have it. But again, when those guys, when those the health experts, when they say it's time, then it's time. I'm not sure it's Republican time. Republican. I don't think it's a political thing, whether it's Republican or Democrat. I think this is so serious that it's got to be the health people who make that decision.
Well, it shouldn't ever be political when you're talking about health, but I do think there is instead of politics versus health, I think you could say there's the economic side, the quote, get back to semi-normal side versus the healthcare side. There's going to be a push-pull there. And I agree with pretty much everything Dr. Fauci said in the clip that Brian and Mike Bacon put up on the screen. I think that individual sports are easier, and I put that in quotes because nothing's easy these days, are easier to get back up and running, such as professional golf, maybe professional tennis, bowling perhaps. The team events, the team sports are going to be harder. And I do think that for at least for 2020, these team sports are going to have to come to the realization that if they do want to play, it's going to have to be in empty venues. But I think you can pull it off. I really do. As long as you test them regularly, maybe in over a 2-week span, and you quarantine them, if you will, and they fly private, you can get them in and out of a city without much interaction with people. And as long as you test them, and if the person tests positive, then obviously he's out of the mix. But I think it can be done.
All right, then totally different theories going on about college football. There's so many other things involved. The amount of money is staggering. NCAA conference commissioners told Vice President Mike Pence that college football will not return in the fall unless all students are allowed to come back. They don't want it to look like they're hired out, which I think many people would agree that that's exactly what it seems like. But the whole college experience, the whole money, the lawsuits and everything else, I think that's the message being sent here.
Well, I'm glad you did draw the distinction there, Les, between, where you brought up college and we were just talking about pros. I always tried to delineate between the college and the pros when I'm talking about sports because, listen, when it comes to scholastic, we always hear these people say, oh, student athletes, student athletes, student athletes. You got to be students first, okay? I mean, I've got a 7th grader. My wife has an 8th grader and a college student as well. These kids have got to get back to school first, all right? And then you worry about your sports on the college side. Professional, you don't worry about the school part. But I'm looking at online learning, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing or hearing as far as feedback goes. So to me, if your college students aren't back in school, then they aren't going into a stadium to watch anybody play anything.
Right. Well, there's something else involved. And, you look at the amount of money that'll be lost. Let's use most of us familiar with the Ohio State situation. So let's take a look at that. It's obviously the ticket sales are a huge factor, and it's into the millions, and it helps support all the other sports at Ohio State. But what people don't understand or don't realize is that if Ohio State has a good year in football, the amount of money coming into that university, not from sports, but from donations to the different services that Ohio State provides, and the hospitals and the learning facilities, It's a huge amount of money coming into the university, not directly for ticket sales, but directly because people are proud of Ohio State's program and want to give to make the university even better. I don't think people understand that's part of the deal here.
Yeah, the great fundraiser that is a superior uh, revenue team. In other words, football, men's basketball, that type of deal. Yes, it is very important for these schools who have great programs to have them up and running and making the amount of money they do, because there's a lot of residual money going to various places because of it.